do appreciate you guys a lot. And like I said, we are working on a tutorial today. So if you guys pop on in and I don't say hi, it's probably because I'm concentrating. Or I'm talking my head off. One of the two, you know. It can go either way. Sorry. Yeah. But I was saying that if I don't pay attention or I miss a comment or something, forgive me, because I get to talking or doing something and I'm not looking at my screen. So taking books and turning them into a junk journal or a journal, is actually quite common. There's multiple versions of books that are turned into something, so they're an altered book. One that has become very, very popular is taking the little golden books and turning them into junk journals. And there's multiple different ways to do it. If you have a cinch machine, I have seen where people turn these into spiral bound. It's just really comes down to like the format that you like for it and what you want your end product to be. So for me, I want the story to stay intact so that whoever is utilizing the journal, the theme is the Nutcracker in this case, right? So they can come in and they can read the story about Clara, and she gets her Nutcracker, and she goes through all of this. But then there is also a section or sections for the person to do their journaling or to add their thoughts, or maybe they went to see the Nutcracker and so they have like the little flyer, or they have their tickets and they want to save it, maybe some pictures. That is what I hope when I make these, is that they get used for that purpose. So you will need a heat tool. If you don't have a heat tool or a heat gun, if you have a blow dryer, you can use that. It just may take a little bit longer. The structure of a little golden book is actually quite simple. All right, it is your book base or cardboard, front and back cover, your signatures, which are your pages, and they are bound, held together by only two staples. The staples and the edge are covered up by the very iconic golden ribbon that we think of when we think of the little golden books. Sometimes if it's a holiday one, you might find that this is not gold but rather red. But however that is, this was just put on with glue. Okay, so we can heat the glue and get it to where it is soft again, and then we can separate the parts, and that is what we're going to do. So this is bound in, like I said, with two staples. Okay, let me show you another little. I have this other little book here. This is very common. All right, and you can see the glue right there. So this book is also very easy to take apart. It's just gonna take some patience, but you would heat it up again, using your heat tool, and then slowly start, peeling, the spine and the cover off from the pages. Okay. Gluing your books in, doing the glue binding became very a very popular form of binding, whether it's a soft cover or a hard cover. There is bindings that are sewn in, and those ones, obviously it's a matter of, you know, breaking the stitch, pulling the stitches out, and then, you know, things start to fall apart. And that was one of the reasons why they went to glue, was because sometimes those threads over time would wear out, or the pages would start, you know, get brittle and they'd start to rip. So looking for a better solution, they turned to the gluing part. Yes. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up slowly. And like I said, this takes a little bit of time. If you have a heat tool, it will work a little faster. If you have a, if you're just using your, I know, I saw you where you said that earlier, sweetie. Today's been tutorial day because I've been doing tutorials all day. I was in a demo rate train actually earlier and did some tutorials. I was showing how to do little pockets. Of course. I said I can sit here and take these apart, no problem. This part is fun. Now, I do recommend having some kind of a flat, in this case I use a craft knife or X-Acto knife, however you want to call it, to help me start to lift up and see how we're doing. Okay, I need to heat that up more. And so this part here takes a little patience. And in some books, it'll go a lot faster depending on the age of the book, the wear of the book, if the book had previously been exposed to heat, where the glue was already starting to dissipate. So that'll make it, you know, there's always, you know, different factors that come to play. So I'm going to start. See, I got the bulk of it's coming up. See that? And we just have one, and see, it's just that little ribbon. We have this one part right here that's being a little stubborn. And I try to save my ribbons, whether it's to put them on the spine afterwards, or it's somewhere inside of the book. It's just such an iconic piece of these books that, you know, I try my best to save it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some times that I get some of these books and there's no saving, because there's like half of it's ripped off and you can't really do much without that. Welcome in, everybody. We are just working a tutorial. I'm showing how to take a little golden book apart. This is how I do them. There's a few different ways afterwards as far as binding goes. So, you know, that's completely up to every person how you choose to do it, really. Everybody might, you know, I like to do them one way. You might find a YouTube of somebody who likes to do them in a different manner. And is one manner, you know, better than the other? No, they're just different. You know, we like different things. So I've seen where these have been turned, you know, especially when the pages are all, you know, scribbled on. But so they salvage the front and the back, and they'll put the spiral, you know, with a cinch machine, and they'll put the spiral on and put like notebook pages in. So now it's a notebook, right? Or they'll keep the story in and still do it like a spiral notebook. I have that machine, but honestly, that's not the way, my preferred method of doing my junk journals. So I'm going to show you the way I like to do them. and y'all are more than welcome to try it and see if you like it. But I definitely will always say, you know, explore. YouTube is such an amazing, you know, asset that we have as creators to see into the world of other creators as far as things that they like to do and how they may do stuff. So look for those tutorials, see the different ways that things are done, and try it out, and you will find what you like. And once you know what you like, then, you know, run with it. You know, at the end of the day, that's the thing about it is, you know, you do you, find what you like, and what makes you happy and how it makes you happy. That's what matters, right? At the end, that's what matters. So I'm just throwing things into the bin just in case if anybody does want to do some shopping. You don't have to, but I'll just go ahead and throw some stuff in there just in case. Like I said, you don't have to, but it is whatnot, and they do like for us to have stuff, you know, posted. So hello there, how are you, sweet friend? Thank you so much for popping in, bestie. I appreciate you. I am just working on a tutorial on how to take a little golden book and turn it into a journal. Now I like these because I like the story part of it. It's very nostalgic. Some people, this is not their thing, and that is fine. Again, you know, the world is big enough for all of our differences and similarities. You find what you like to do. Okay? Always look for what makes you happy. That's the biggest part of it all. So just like we did the front, we're going to heat up the back just to make that glue soft and have it let go of its layers. Welcome in to everybody. There are items in the bin if you want to do some shopping, but today we are just working on a tutorial. So see, this has come out very, you know, clean like. You can still see the love and wear that it has been, you know, given throughout the years. So I like to save these. I always tuck it to the side. And then now we can see the guts of our book, okay? And like I said, there are the two staples that hold our book together. So we do need to remove these, and there are tools. There are a few different like tool-like items that you could use. Again, my trusty craft knife, that's what we're going to be utilizing, okay? And so we're just going to come in here and lift the prongs up. Trying to be careful not to hurt myself. Like I said, there is actually a staple remover that's kind of like a flat bed, and I had one. I don't know where it's at. Hello there, Faye. Welcome into everybody. I am showing how I take a little golden book apart, build a spine for it so that I can turn it into a journal. I have been asked if I would show this, and I'm very glad to do so. Okay, so now that we have this open, you have a few options. You could try to push it through. Obviously, don't do it with your fingers, okay? You're gonna hurt yourself. What I try to do is I try to grab just the back, and I start trying to separate it slowly. And again, like I said, I'm just using my X-Acto knife, craft knife, whatever you want to call it, okay? And it helps me so that now I can come in and I can pull my back off. So that's off. Now we're going to start with the pages. So there are two signatures, okay? I would have cut myself 3 times by now. I'll try a tiny flathead screw. Yes, and see, you can use that. For me, I had like I actually have a set of the small screwdrivers, because you know, when we're using really small hinges and stuff, I need them. But this is what works for me. Okay, so of course, if you know, don't feel comfortable with it, use a flathead screwdriver, works. You could possibly also use the like spatula from like the Cricut machine. If you have one of those, the Dollar Tree sells one of those. Most craft stores do, but Dollar Tree is going to be the cheapest. And then like I said, there is a staple remover that is a handle, and it has like a rounded edge that has a little notch for you to pull up your staples. So I just don't know where mine went to because I have one of those. So, and I've used that one too, and it works great. So the biggest reason why you see me coming through and doing this first instead of just trying to yank them off is, by experience, I have done that, and there will be a little bit of residue of glue, and I go to pull it and then I mess my pages up. So I would rather be safe, know that I've separated it, and then I can pull them out. Okay, and so here we have the last one. This is the only tricky little dangerous part here, is trying to get these off. Again, you know, don't go doing this number. Alright, so you know, put your little flathead through whatever, and you pull that staple off, and that goes into the trash, because believe me, you do not want this in your finger. It hurts. Okay, if I'm telling you you know, like, don't do this or something, it's, yeah, the experience is there, and I'm trying to prevent that from happening to y'all. And then these always end up in the trash because I don't use them, will not use them, because they're like industrial staple gun type staple. So yeah. And I make sure that they go into my trash, not anywhere where they get blended into the carpet, because that's the last thing we need, is somebody to get it in their foot. Okay, hello there, welcome in. So this is what we are left with. These are the parts of your little golden book. The piece that covers, alright, your spine, you have your front, your 2 signatures, and your back cover. Alright, so we have those. Okay, like I said, this is going to go to the side because I'm not going to use that right now. Alright, this part right here, and this is something that you're going to see different people do it different ways. Now, I keep this together. I do not bend this. The reason, because if I go to bend this and try to use these two ends as my new signature, what's gonna happen is this. If this is bent and this is here, look what's happening. I have all of this sticking out now. Okay, if I were to just, you know, be like, oh, I'm going to use this, you know, just bend this over as the thing. I've seen people do it, and then they're like, why don't my pages fit? Why is it? I'm like, because you just shortened the book. The book is meant to be this length for a reason. So we are going to create starting from here. We're going to keep the joint. We're not going to cut it. Okay, the only thing we will do is reinforce it. So for now, I'm going to take both of my signatures and I'm going to keep them intact, because again, I want to be able to read the story. So, because if you start pulling them out or pulling them apart, then the story won't make sense. So I'm going to keep these two together, put them to the side with my little ribbon. It's over there. And now this is what I have left. All right? Okay. There is a sticker here, and we could warm it up again and see if it'll peel off, but I'll probably end up covering the inside. So for now, I'm not worried about it. Okay, we're gonna leave it, because if I end up covering this with fabric or a sheet of paper, you're not gonna see that anyways. Your middle can be done with whatever you have. So if you have chipboard, you can use chipboard. I had this piece and I was like, oh great, it's gonna be perfect, I just have to trim it down. And then I noticed that it's scored, so it's gonna have a weak point in the middle, and I don't want that, because I'll probably end up with a signature going through right there, so at that point it's gonna split. So I cannot use that piece for this. You could use regular box, but I'm going to tell you it is very thick. Okay? Yeah, I've seen that too. They'll cut the pages off, but then you're very likely you're going to cut off part of the imaging. And again, the whole reason why I'm using this is because I want the images, I want the story. So I don't want to lose any of it, right? So I'm going to keep it the way it is and just modify how I do my spine. So what I was saying, this is a regular box piece that I got, okay? And you can see the flute in there, all right? You can see that the zigzaggy that goes in, that's the flute. My husband could take this box apart and tell you what all the different parts are called. He's been in the box making industry for almost 30 years. So when it comes to boxes, he's the expert. And he's told me that that's what it's called. That the zigzag part is the flute, because it's what gives it strength. So you have cardboard, flute, cardboard, and glue in between. This is, to me, too wide, and the spacing is too large. Now, I don't know what level this is. Again, my husband could look at it and tell me. Yeah, okay. This is a piece of priority mailbox that I have left from where I cut up a box to try to get into it, right? Okay, this, as you can tell, is a lot thinner, okay? And it is multiple layers of cardboard that have been sandwiched together with glue. So this is actually stronger and less likely to bend. See, look, I'm just doing like this, and this already wants to bend because of the flute, and this one doesn't. And I'm using the same amount of pressure. Okay, so if you do not have chipboard, okay, when you get mail, save your mail. Save your boxes, because this makes great spines, makes great covers for your journals. Okay, it is strong. There is a flute, but it is very, very hard to see. See how tiny it is? It is extremely compact in there. So this is what you want, okay? Not that. The other thing too is, if I were to use cardboard because I had nothing else, I would have cut it this way to where like my lines, these would be going from top to bottom, okay? Not necessarily, you know, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I just prefer not to use regular box. Use that one, okay? All right, so obviously this is all cut wonky because I had scissors, and you know, scissors can be horrible. So we are going to trim this down, and first I'm going to decide what is the width that I want my spine to be. Okay, so there's kind of a rule of thumb that for every signature you want like a half an inch. So you want a half an inch, wait a half an inch, go the next signature, then the next signature, right? So if I was doing 4 signatures, you would want this to be 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to put our thing in, and I'm going to come over here. Now, because I do need to take into consideration the fact that I'm going here, I'm going to do the I'm going to do it at 2, but I will probably only have 3 signatures. All right, not 4. Very easy to cut with your regular, you know, you might have to give it a pass a time or two, but flip it over and, you know, pretty much cut like that, okay? And we're good to go. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me go see if my husband's already left for work. He's up. This is a We Are Memory Keeper cutter. Hello there, Kelly. This is We Are Memory Keeper. It does open up to be a full 12-inch, and then you can fold it down, and it comes with your bone folder so you can score. So it's a scoring and a cutting board, which is really nice. I like that it's collapsible. Hello, welcome in everybody. Alright, so now that I have this together, and I don't always like measure, so I do a lot of, you know, eyeing and I'm end up coming in here, and I'm gonna be like, okay, is that how thick I want this to be? You know, is that gonna be enough? Right? Maybe. Yeah, I could technically go a little bit smaller, so I think I'm gonna go just a tad bit smaller. So instead of doing a 2-inch, let's do a 1 3/4. And again, I am using a cut up priority box that I had a piece of. If you have chipboard, obviously you can definitely use chipboard, but this is a great alternative if you don't have chipboard, okay? Yes, but don't forget that I'm also streaming it over to YouTube. Hi there, Maritza. Alright, now how are we going to attach it? That tends to be the million-dollar question, right? So let me show you. It does. That's why I have my camera rolling on my computer, and I'm streaming it over to YouTube. Okay. So, I use paper tape. Okay. Paper tape is, you can pick this up in the first aid section. I've gotten mine at the dollar store, at Dollar Tree. Your Walmart carries it. You can obviously find it at pharmacies in the first aid section. It is sticky. Alright, it sticks to itself, and it's made out of paper fibers. This is, you know, it is tough, it is, you know, thick. It's going to withstand the folding and flexing that you're going to do, you know, with your signature part. Okay? So we're going to bring this in. Now, you do need to account that you're going to be turning this. So, you want to make sure that you leave a gap. Okay? Some people get very technical about, you know, the size of the gap, and they're like, oh, take your other, you know, your other book and the other cover and put it in between. You know, yes, you can do that, or you can eye it. Whatever you feel most comfortable with, okay? Just make sure that it is even, okay? It is even front, you know, front to back. That's the biggest thing, is make sure that it is even and all of that. Hello there, Rosa. Welcome in. I am doing another tutorial. This time I am doing Little Golden Book, and I'm actually working with a Nutcracker themed one. So okay, very important to varnish your tape. Okay, this is going to ensure that the glue that's on the backing, you know, gets adhered to the baseboard. Okay. Hi there, Mona. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Forgive me if I miss comments when I'm doing tutorials and stuff. I tend tend to miss things, so please forgive me on that end, okay? But welcome in, everybody. We have literally just taken a little golden book and blew it apart. We, using a heating tool, took the little golden strip off from the spine, took the staples out because that is what holds it together, and now we are actually creating a new spine for it. Okay, and I am using paper tape, and this is what I have. Yes, after this it will be. That is correct, She Crafty. Thank you. It is called Crafty Fox Creations by Tamara. So my full name. That was a little too long for here, so I shortened it to T because most people over here knew me as T anyway. Most people, pretty much anywhere, Facebook, the YouTubes, whatever they, you know, my students call me Miss T. So, but yes, because there was another Fox something, and I was trying to make sure that people didn't get confused. Of course, I am on Facebook, and it is the same name as my YouTube. I'm actually streaming over there right now as well. So right now I've got 3 different things going. So that's why I said if I miss some of the comments, y'all please forgive me. I'm trying to get it everywhere, but mainly trying to get it to the YouTube because Facebook, you know, they take our videos down after 30 days, which is crazy. And here they stopped doing replays unless you've purchased something. You can't see past shows anymore at all. So yeah. Hello there, Miss Patricia. Welcome. Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you are having a blessed evening. Right now we are building the new spine to my little golden book. We are using a repurposed piece of box from a priority shipping box, and this is called paper tape. Okay, so again, I'm making sure that I have an even gap. That's gonna go, you know, top to bottom. Again, I make sure that you are varnishing your tape. You want that glue to reactivate and for all of the fibers between it and the board to connect, okay? And then when we come back and we cover this, because you can cover this in paper, you can cover this in fabric, you know, the possibilities are endless. It's whatever you choose to do. I think we may be doing paper today. I think I'll choose a piece of paper and we'll do some paper today. Okay, pick this up. I'm going to come around and pull this back up here. Glad to hear that everybody is doing well. It is, what day of the week is it? It's the middle of the week, isn't it? No, it's Thursday. You know what? I don't even know what day of the week it is. It is Thursday. That was like, what day of the week? Y'all, that's bad. That is bad. Okay. And then, again, varnishing it very well. And we don't have to worry because these things will be covered, okay? This is gonna end up being covered, so we will not see this section. You know, that way we can still have the original front and back. So we will save that. Again, but we are trying our best to repurpose as much as possible. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Seems like today was the tutorial day. We also, there was an awesome demo train that's been happening since yesterday. And it was yesterday and today. Lots of awesome tutorials. I got to see some awesome ladies doing jewelry. I always find that fascinating, but I also know that that is not my realm, but I am very fascinated by it, you know, very, very fascinated by it. I think it is amazing. Okay, so here we have our new cover, okay, with our spine. And as you can see, if I were to take my pages, because we did not trim any of it, they are going to fit pretty much seamlessly. They may stick out like a little bit, but not a whole lot, okay? And I can do with like a millimeter or two that stick out. But when you, a whole lot, no. Because I don't want to cut it. I do not want to cut it. All right. So let's go ahead and cover. So what are we going to cover with? No. Let me see if I find a strip of paper that I like for that. So I always try to use scraps up as much as possible before I start cutting into a new page. So we shall see if it is possible. Because I think these are all the cut aparts and it may not work for what I'm trying to do. Well, we could use that one. Use a piece of that one. And then let me see if I find another one so that they can overlap. Hi, hello there, Katie. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? Thank you. This is actually Graphic 45 paper. It is the Nutcracker paper series that they have, which I think is very, very pretty. So let me see if I have another one with this blue background though, because if I don't, then we are going to be using something else, something that I do have more of. La 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 la. So it does not look like it. You didn't tell me that's the only piece I have left. Seriously? That is utterly ridiculous. Okay. So then, let's cover with nutcrackers. You missed this one? You missed this paper? Is that what you're talking about, dear? I'm a little confused. Alright, so we're gonna start by taking that off, because I do not need to know that this is graphic 45. It does not need to say that in my project. Like, I know what I'm putting in it. Alright, and then we need to measure this out. So our book is right at 7 7/8. So we need to cut our paper at that length. 7 7/8. Oh no, this is an old one. This is an older one. Okay. So if I bring my book back, we will see that it is obviously not long enough, and I end up having these pieces left over. So, which is fine, because then on these sections I can add a different piece of paper, which is actually what I am going to do. And we will bring the ballerinas back into play, and we will use them. So we're going to cut this one to that same length, and we said it was 7 7/8. And I think I want to use that top end, so I'm going to just change where I'm cutting. And then we need to cut this into strips. So the overall length of my book is it's 15 inches, which obviously means that if we had a page that was 12 inches, I have a total of 3 inches, so 1.5 inches on each side. 1.5 inches on each side. Hello there, Gifty Gypsy. But I'm actually going to come over just a little bit so that it will overlap. Hello. Oh, what doesn't she do? Thank you for the raid, friend. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, if you're not following her, please go follow What Doesn't She Do? Alright? My friend has her next show on the 22nd, so in a few days. So make sure you go and check her out, okay? Give her a bookmark. Hi, Tam. Hello, hello. And Miss Laura, Tanda Trading, Miss Hillary, welcome in. Nancy, hello, hello. Thank you. I'm just, I'm doing a tutorial. We are actually, I'm showing how to put together a little golden book junk journal. And right now we are working on the cover part for it. Thank you. We love tutorials. Yes. And I am streaming this also over to Facebook and my YouTube, so that if y'all want to look back at it later, you can find it on the YouTubes. Okay. I wanted to make sure that y'all had access to seeing it, you know, as much as possible. You just finished one? Oh, cool. What were you doing? Paper bag junk journal. Oh my gosh, that is so much fun. That is so fun. This Thrifted Thread did one. She did one with the big grocery bags that you get. That was a long tutorial. That took some time, but it was fun. She was hilarious and fun. Well, that is wonderful. That means that y'all got to learn and be entertained at the same time. They are. They're a lot of fun to do, aren't they? I love them. Alright, so I have my papers. So it's going to be this right here, and then we have the pieces for the side, which I think is really cool. Alrighty. So let's get us a lot of entertainment. Oh my gosh, that is so much fun. I'm sorry that I missed it. Well, hopefully I will catch your next tutorial, because I absolutely love watching when others create. It inspires me. Inspires me to want to come into my area and to create stuff, you know? It does. I don't know about y'all, but it does for me. Alright, go get you some sleep, girl. We know not everybody is a crazy night owl like me. I know. And for anybody who was wondering, this is just the Beacon 3-in-1. You could use Fabri-Tac, you could use whatever glue you wanted to, really. Whatever your glue of preference is, how about that? Because let me tell you, glue, paintbrushes, paints, types of clay, types of resin, oh my gosh, I mean, everybody ends up having their own preference of stuff, and that one, the 3-in-1. I understand. You get you your rest, dear. That's what matters. You already had your fun for the day. now it's up to us. Us late night owls. To, you know, are kind of kooky. I'm gonna sound like the song from the Addams Family. See, now that song is stuck in my head. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I do that to myself. I do that to myself all the time. This is just some double-sided tape, guys. Just to give, you know, different levels of adhesion, because we do not want our stuff to fall apart. That would be a big no-no. Yeah, I know it might be overkill, but I'd rather do that than, you know, have issues of stuff coming up. So I'm gonna add all the extras just to be on the safe side. I'm sure it would have been better off if I did the glue after I did this part, but whatever. It'll be alright. Just looking up on Facebook, and it is the live feed showing your face and not the book. Really? That's odd, because I have it set to go down to my secondary camera. Okay, that's odd. I'll check here in a bit and see what's going on. Do you mind hopping on to YouTube and seeing how it looks like over there, please, if you can? Only because I've already got all my devices being used on something. Hello there, Maritza. Welcome in. Welcome in, friends. It is showing the book? Okay, good. That's the main place where I wanted to show so that you guys can see that. That's the main place. So that's good. Because that's where it's going to stay. So I'm more worried about it there than I am on Facebook right now. Thank you for checking. I do appreciate that. Okay, so let's start taking is up with this glue tape. This glue tape is being impossible today. I think I know who's gonna end up in the trash can. And I'm gonna go and buy me some more, because you are being utterly ridiculous, tape. I'll be honest, I am not a huge fan of double-sided tape. But put it on just to be on the safe side. It's a little bit behind, but that's expected. Yeah, that does tend to happen. Hello, Mir. Yeah, especially considering that I'm trying to stream 3 places. My internet must be like, what in the world is going on? Y'all working me too much. So, yeah. And then, you know, add the teenagers that are doing their thing Well, one of them is probably asleep, 'cause he does not like the life of an adult. Sleep and work. The poor thing. I hope y'all heard the sarcasm in my voice, right? Because, you know, life is so hard. And they expect you to work so hard. Yeah, it's kind of what happens. He is so this generation of, you know, you expect me to do all of that. I don't get paid for that. Dude, you have a job. You get paid to do whatever the heck they tell you to do. Get over it. You didn't want to go to college. You wanted to work the blue collar life. This is what it's like. If your boss tells you to jump, you ask how high. He's my bonus kiddo, and it's hard at times because my boys are nowhere near like that. So, and what gets me is that, you know, his father, my husband, is one of the most hardworking men that I know. He's seen his father, you know, work and work, so like, I don't get it. The heck? You know, my oldest gets, his friends from high school joke around with him. Darn it, I cut that one too short. Because they tell him that he works too hard. That he works too hard. And this, that, the other. Well, the boy wants to do something with his life, so, you know, while his friends, ex-classmates, are still at Walmart pushing carts, he's a department manager in Publix because he's worked his tail off. And he was telling me the other day that he went out with them, and they were telling him that he works too much because he doesn't have as much time to hang out with them. Yeah, because he's got goals in life. He wants to own his own house, and he wants to, you know, do things, so I don't get that. I almost feel like I want to iron this. You know what? Let's iron it. Let's see what it does if I iron it. It should just reactivate the glue and stick it down more. Workaholic was a compliment. Yeah, because you were trying to get to something. That also meant that you had a job, right? Like I said, my son's 23, so y'all see that right there? Okay. Let's find, where did I put my parchment piece of paper? I had it earlier when I was doing my tutorial. What I do with it? Here we go. Yes, he is 23. He is 23. He's the workaholic. One that complains about work. My step kiddo, he's my bonus kid. He's 18. Yep, he is. He's doing amazing. He's doing really good for himself. You know? He put his mind to it and rose up the ladder. You know, smartest thing he did was recognize that he, you know, wasn't gonna go anywhere if he stayed, you know, working with his friends at Walmart. He did try going into some kind of factory, but that didn't go too well. And so then he went to go work at Publix, and he has worked his way up from just a regular person to lead to assistant grocery manager, and now he's grocery manager. His next step is assistant store manager. So he wants to make it all the way to the top. That iron is the bomb. Oh, yeah, I know. I love my little thing. It's so cute. They are. I absolutely love it so much. Yeah, my sister's hounding me because I need to send her one that I have sitting here for her. And she's like, when are you gonna send me my little iron? I'm like, soon. So yes, that is a really good gift for yourself. I haven't seen them on here, but I will tell you that I got both mine and the one that I got for my sister off of Facebook Marketplace. So keep an eye out. You have a friend that did that from Cinnabon. She retired in her 40s, very well off, got a job at Kroger for the heck of it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's wanting to make it up, because the higher up you go, then you start, yeah, your salary, but he says that they get quarterly bonuses, and they are quite nice if your store is doing well. So, and he has this whole plan to get a house and to live in it for a bit, and then buy another one and rent that one out. So he's got himself a plan. And honestly, at 23, that is amazing, especially for the kids nowadays. Heck, I think he's doing better than what I was doing at 23. 23, I was just trying to survive with 2 kids. You know? Yeah, he is. He's got a good head on him. That's for sure. I'm very proud of that one. And then my son, who's off in the Navy, the other day when we went to North Carolina about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. No, last week. Me and my husband went to see him. Yeah, it was last Thursday. No, last Wednesday, for his citizenship ceremony, and he he was saying that he doesn't have a whole lot of money to spend, because right now he has like 30% going into his retirement. And I'm like, dude, you're young, you don't have dependents. This is the time to save up and get that, get yourself taken care of. Plus, he plans to do a career out of it. So he's 19. 20 years, after 20 years you can retire. So he joined at 18. That means that at 38 he can retire, from the military with all the benefits and everything. And he's still young enough that he could go and do another job and get a whole thing from there as well. So yeah. And then I have my lovely daughter, who doesn't know what the world she wants to do with her life. And she's 17, and it's so aggravating, because she is so different than those boys, because they've always like had their head straight, like what they're gonna do, you know and she's just like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to go to school. I don't know I don't know if I can work. I don't know if I can handle work. Caroline, you better do something. Because you ain't staying here. That's not an option. We don't give that option. So. Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see what life has in store. Alright, so for the back part here, so we've got all of our inside taken care of, right? Okay, so we have, covers done. Now we got to do something with the spine, okay? And this is where you have to ask yourself several questions, alright? If you're going to sew, do you want to see the stitches? Because if you don't want to see the stitches, then you need to leave this the way it is, and then after you've sewn your signatures in, then you can come and cover that with something. Okay. If you are okay with seeing the stitches on the side of your book, like this one, okay, if you're alright with that, then you can go ahead and cover this and have the stitches show. So that is going to be this is the point where you have to make that choice. Okay, do I care or do I not care if I see this part, right? If you don't, like I said, if you don't care, go ahead and fix the outside, you know, with whether it's paper, whether it's fabric like this, whatever you choose. If you want them to be hidden, then don't do anything. We're gonna, you know, we work on the inside of this one, and then we'll come back and cover this up. Okay, so that is the question you have to ask yourself at this point. How do you want to do this part? Okay. So that is the question of the hour, right? And you know, also if you want to have a if you wanted to have like a brad to have the dangle hanging from it, you know, and you didn't want to see it on this side, then you would have needed to have put that in first before we even covered the inside. So there's some mechanics of how you want your end product to look that are going to determine what you're going to do at this stage, you know. So hopefully that part makes sense to everybody. Okay. I think that I'm actually going to I'm going to go ahead and cover that part. And as much as I would like to use this piece, it is slightly too large, so I will need to trim it again. Okay? I hope she figures something out. That's all I know, is I really hope that she figures something out. And the sooner, the better. Because this is her senior year, so she was already slated to graduate last year and didn't, asking to please, you know, if she could wait. So she needs to figure out something. So yeah, I think I do want to do that piece right there, since we have some of the same on the inside. No, she does not. Yeah, but we've dealt with a bit of some health issues, so she had been working a little bit with her middle brother when he was still here, and we started to, some issues that she had started to be a lot more noticeable, and so we've had to pivot a little bit on that end. So just for now, she does not have one. I don't know, now I'm kind of tempted to do the snowflakes, but I do like the ballerinas. I kind of want to use the ballerinas, so I think I'm going to use the ballerinas. So we shall see. We shall see. I talked with our vet. She loves working with animals, so for her to go and shadow the tech for a bit to see if maybe that would be something she would want to do, and then We've also talked about maybe her going to help at a rescue or something of that nature. And that way, if she really does want to work with animals, that'll give her a little bit more of a idea. So we shall see if that does help. Need to call the vet and set up her shadow day and time. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Thank y'all so much for popping in and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate that. Hopefully this helps anyone who's had questions about how to go about doing a little golden book. Again, it is not hard. It takes a little bit of time, especially the first few times that you're gonna do it. And having a plan, like I said, really does help, especially when you get to certain spots or points in your endeavor with your cover, you know, because all we've done so far is just, you know, made our cover portion. That's all we've really done. We have not even started tackling doing any sewing or anything of that nature yet. And y'all forgive me for the shaking of the camera. When I try to get a little physical with this, I tend to shake the whole desk, and so then the mount goes to shaking as well because it's attached. Welcome in everybody. If you guys want to hang out, that is wonderful. We are working on a little golden book junk journal. If you have questions, ask them, and I will do my very best to answer your questions. As of right now, I can only see comments for Facebook or whatnot. So sorry for anybody who's on YouTube. I will check the video later. And then I do have the bin loaded, so if you guys are looking for something or you want to purchase something, or if you want to see if there's something that you did not know that you needed, you know, there's that. But you don't have to purchase anything to be able to re-see this video, because you can just hop on over to the YouTubes and you can check the video out there anytime, as many times as you would like. You know, if you guys could give me a like and a thumbs up over there, I would really appreciate it. You know, let me know that you guys are liking the videos, the content. The most of what I post over on the YouTube are tutorials. That's pretty much all I post. Hey there, Junk Journal Gypsies. How you doing, friend? How was your show earlier? I saw y'all were on, but I was on a train at the time, so I couldn't come hang out. And then I hopped on over here. Oh, hello, Stormy. My cat's come to visit. Hey, Storm. My YouTube is Crafty Fox Creations by Tamara. So my name written out completely. It was a little too long to do my full name here, but for Facebook and YouTube purposes, it's my full name, which is also the name of my business. Hey! Meow! What? What is it? Huh? Huh? What is it? Mommy not paying any attention to you? Or is it dinner time? Is it past dinner time? I think it's past dinner time, isn't it? Yeah, it's past dinner time. I know. I didn't know you were inside. Ooh, antique leisure papers. That's awesome. Oh. Antique ledger papers are amazing. They can be used for so much. And the biggest thing to me for anything like that is I love to learn the history behind it. So, you know, I like to read all the things. So whenever I buy things like that, the only ones I can't really like learn much about are the ones that are in a different language. So, nope, ma'am, I've got a hot iron. Get down, scoot. You can't come and craft with me. There's no space. Come back up here. Come to your seat. I put the seat there on purpose. It's for you. Yes, that's for you. For you. Stay right there. Oh, see now, I like the Mexico ones because I could read those. I could read those and I could understand them. The French ones, yeah, no, that couldn't help with that. I could help if it's Italian. I could read that. But yeah, no, I can't. I know somebody who speaks French, but not my thing. I do not know. That is not a language that is under my expertise. But yeah, I teach Spanish. It's one of the classes that I teach. I teach Spanish along with math. So, hello there, buy and sell Minnesota. Welcome, welcome. So, are we buying the state of Minnesota, or you just live in Minnesota? Sorry, I had to mess with y'all. Welcome in. I'm goofy at times. So, but I do appreciate everybody for popping in. And I'm just coming in and tightening up my bond with a little precision tip glue. So this is the journal that we are working on. We are converting the Little Golden Book, The Nutcracker Story. We are using Graphic 45 paper. That'll be some of the papers that I will use as part of the signatures as well. So this one's gonna be fun. Fun. Doing is just getting this to fold, making sure that we have those sandwiches properly done for our book. And then if you don't like how, you know, you have the paper and the front, you could always put a trim here, you could always put some lace on this. You know, there's so many things that you could use to decorate. So this is our cover. Alright, because I don't have an issue with the stuff coming out, so this is essentially pretty much finished. I am going to, you know, layer a trim on it. You could paint this if you wanted to. If you did fabric, you can always come over and that way you'll cover some of that up. You can also do that with paper as well, and you can just come on over and then just tuck it underneath that before you put that in. So, but I was planning on putting like a gold trim around it, so because some of the edging of my book is not the neatest or the most intact, so I was already planning on doing something to, you know, draw the eye a little bit away from the imperfections that the book has. And see, if I see little pieces like this, I just come in with a little bit of, you know, whatever paper glue you're using, and just glue this back on. Hello, welcome in everybody. Hey, A Giving Tree, how are you doing, my sweet friend? Y'all, please go follow my friend A Giving Tree. She is just the sweetest, and she was actually working on her junk journal that is going to be part of Battle of the Junk Journal, and that is coming up in October. So you guys definitely want to go bookmark that. I'm in that one as well, but this is not the journal that I'll be using. I am doing well, my friend. Thank you. I am actually doing a tutorial on the how to take a little golden book and turn it into a journal, because I've been asked that. So I decided to come and show how you could do it. Right? So this one we have covered in paper. We did the spine for it, all of that. I know, I'm excited for it. My daughter saw my cover earlier, and I was like, can you tell me what it is? And so she told me, and I was like, yep. I'm like, I'm glad that it's turning out the way I want it to. So it's looking the way I want it to look. She said it looked cool. And y'all know that for a teenager to say that, you know, something looks cool, that's like the biggest compliment ever. So even if y'all don't like it, I'm glad that she did. I literally only have done one portion of it live, and that was it. I have not done the rest of it. Maybe I should, because I heard that somebody else, not just you, a Giving Tree, was also doing theirs. Little by little, they were doing tutorials, and you know, doing it live here on Whatnot, and I'm like, okay, I thought we were like supposed to do it, and then it's like, this is, you know, kind of like revealing it. So I don't know. So I don't know. I guess I missed out on that portion of it. Yeah, that is true. It's just also a lot of the techniques that I am doing are ones that I will be teaching at my retreat. So I don't want to do them online, at least not just yet. If that makes sense. So alright, so this has got to dry before we can really start doing any craziness to it. We need it to really set. So I'm going to set this to the side. And we are thank you, in Oklahoma. It's the last weekend, first few days of the first few days of August. So July, August, because it's like from I think it's the 30th through the 2nd, I think, are the dates. Can't remember off the top of my head, because that weekend falls really weird. And I do have information for that on my Facebook page, so if y'all do want to check it out, from the 30th through the 2nd, that's what it is, the 30th of July through the 2nd of August. Yup. So if anybody is interested on some info for that, you can look at the event that's on my Facebook page, or you can always message me and I can send you information as well. I just think it's gonna be a lot of fun to get to hang out with, you know, other like-minded crafters, and be able to show y'all some of the things that I like to do and hang out together. Yes, 2026. No, not 2026. That's it. July 30th, which is a Thursday, through the 2nd of August, which is a Sunday. And other than you getting yourself there, everything else is included. I'll be cooking for y'all, so that'll be fun. Hello, welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for popping on. I truly appreciate it. Right now I am cutting up some of this graphic 45 paper to make some of the embellishments that are going to go inside of the journal. You want me to make the taquitos? I can make the taquitos. They're really not that hard to make. My daughter's already requested it. I make lasagna. She's like, Mama, because she's gonna come along. So she's like, Mama, you gonna have to make your lasagna. I'm like, okay, I'll make my lasagna. So, welcome in everybody. If you are new to me, my name is Tamara. Everybody knows me as T or Foxy or whatever. I go into some shows and it's like, hey Foxy, hey Foxy lady, hey Crafty Fox, hello. So yeah. Yes, it will be. I love you too, dear. You have a wonderful evening, my friend. Get some rest. Alright, so right now all I'm doing is just cutting this up so that I have it, and then we can look at how we're going to turn all these little bits and pieces that are given to us into possible used or usable items. So now, as much as I would love to grab and use some of the graphic 45 paper, I have done that before, but it does tend to be a thicker cardstock, and so it can be a little tricky to manage and for it to be pliable with your pages in a signature. So using it for your base, using your nice cardstock for your embellishments is wonderful, but you're better off if you can do printables that are on a nice size weight paper or a very light cardstock that are more prone to being flexible and where you can bend them, so that way you don't end up with cracked paper. So that's one thing that we gotta be a little bit mindful of when doing, you know, things with the pretty cardstocks, is how is it going to be manipulated, and you know, how is that going to work? Is it actually going to function the way we are hoping it will function, or is that going to actually end up causing an issue? And with this one, sometimes that can be a bit of a problem, especially when you go to sewing in your signature and you end up with some cracking. Now, you could do a no-sew signature, and those are the kinds that are done where the pages just go in, they slide in, and I think I sold the last one I had that is that style, so I don't think I have one. What it does is you can use, instead of sewing through the signature, you just use binding to hold the pages in. So again, understanding what you want out of your journal when you are working it is very important. Oh, thank you for the tip, dear. You are quite welcome, my friend. This has been great, and I'll catch the rest on YouTube. Of course. You'll definitely need to go get you some sleep, okay? Do you do both sewing and binding? I have done both, yes. Yes, ma'am. And are you referring to maybe if we want to do them together at the same time? Is that what you're talking about? Done. This is the last one of cut-aparts that we have, and that way I'm Nutcracker Sweet Collection is the name of this one. 2021 is the date on it. I know you were asking earlier from when it was. You didn't think about it. What weren't you thinking about? Doing both? Is that what you're talking about? Doesn't take much to confuse me. Just FYI. Yeah, you could do both. You know, you could totally do both. So let's say, like with this one, you really like the Nutcracker story, and maybe it's a tradition to go every year to see the Nutcracker. When my daughter was younger, we went every year to see the Nutcracker. So having the option of being able to pull out the completed section for that 1 year and add in new pages for, you know, the following year, right, actually was, you know, is a really good idea. That would have been a great idea to do something like that. Trying to clean this edge up. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We're working on cutting apart the cut aparts from the Nutcracker Graphic 45 papers, because we'll be using these to make pockets and tags and different items that are going to go into our little golden book. I remember this Graphic 45. I have no idea why I didn't buy it. I usually buy Nutcracker everything. Do you collect Nutcracker items? Is that like your thing? You know, there's always some reason why you know, things may not happen in the moment. No reason why you would beat yourself up later about it, okay? There's always a reason. Yeah, you do? I like to collect Nutcrackers. So I have a few, and when my son decided to join the Navy, I ended up last year, because that's when he left. He was off at basic during Christmas. I bought myself one that was a little sailor. So that's my boy. And he stays on my mantle. That one has not come down. That one has not come down. Then I have one which is like the 12 Days of Christmas. Yeah, I have several. Hey there, T. You like them too? I had to ask my family, only one Nutcracker per year? They are awesome. They are awesome. They are a lot of fun. I just think that, you know, and they've gotten very intricate. I was actually very, very upset because I had painted and I had actually done several Nutcrackers, and between the heat and everything, they ended up, the sealant that I used was not the right one, and the wrapping, when we went to go take them out when we first moved to the house, they were all ruined, and I was just, I was so frustrated and devastated, and I told my husband, I was just like, throw them all away. I was like, I can't. Like, I literally started crying because I had spent hours painting and redoing some that I had found, you know, at different yard sales or thrift stores, and yeah, some of they were either that or some of them had gotten moisture to them, so they had mold on them, and I was like, just tossed them. I can't. And I just cried and went and went and lay down and left my husband to deal with it, because if I kept on looking at them, I was just gonna flip. I couldn't. I just physically couldn't. You bought one taller than you at Michael's? Maybe France. Does he look like a Franz? I've seen those ones. I've actually have been tempted to make one. And I have like the material because like my husband has brought me home like these large spools and everything. And I have been tempted to make one. But that's something that I would probably have to start, like, I don't know. I should have started it back in July or something, because that's going to take me a while to do. I don't know. I like the name Fitzgerald, but I don't know if that's going to fit him. You know what I mean? Oh. Hey, yes, you know, I mean, if you tell me 60, 70, 80, 90% off, sure, you know, yeah. But when they're like, you know, a few $100s and, yeah. One thing this girl does not do, I do not buy anything that is full price. Nope. No, not me. I think I'm gonna end up probably putting corners on them because the corners are kind of dinged on this one. So. Fitzgerald. Like, his name could be Fitzgerald and you just call him Fritz for short. That would be cute. No, you can never go wrong with corners. I agree. I agree. Okay, so let's get us some might need to cut these down though. I know it would have been better with the thing, but I don't want to pull it back out again. So we are just going to do it this way. Alright, so let's play with some ink. So since there is some purple on the edge of this one, let's grab us a little bit of some oxide. And if you have a glass mat, it works a whole lot better with the glass mat, okay? But I've done it here and it works. So just put some down on your surface. Like I said, if you got glass, it works great. And then we're just gonna spritz it a little bit with some. This is just regular. Well, it's distilled water. I keep distilled water in my bottle just because I never want funky stuff growing on them. Right? And then we're just gonna come in and we are going to let that do its thing, and then we're going to come over here and let that do its thing. Let's grab us another one, and we'll do that. This is not a glass mat. This is plastic, like very thick, I guess plastic is that's what I would say it is. But if you have glass, it works better because you definitely know it's going to clean up well. But I will be throwing this thing out soon because It's definitely seen better days. Because I've done all kinds of stuff to it, you know. That's just a alcohol wipe. Get it all off. And so let these dry. Then we can always come in and edge off the sides with a different, you know, in this case we'll use green since we have purples and greens going. Oh yeah, it is very subtle, so but yeah, it is really pretty. I actually need to put that back with my inks. It's kind of been hanging out for a while. Okay, so there's that one. Yeah, we do. My husband says I have a one too many hanging out. Yeah, I end up having one too many hanging out sometimes. Because he's like, you can barely sit back there and watch a movie. I'm like, well, I can sit back there. Referring to my desk. Oh no. No. No, they don't. But then, you know, I also have a disaster. It's like a landmine trying to walk through here. So I understand that, where he gets frustrated with that part. I do. I really do. But, you know, I like my stuff, and I just have a lot of it. That's my problem. Hey there, All Things Fabric. How you doing, friend? It's been a bit. How have you been? I haven't seen you on, or I miss you, I guess. I guess I miss you when you're on. We are just working on some items and chit-chatting, just having fun. Today has been essentially a tutorial day. I was in the Atelier Artistry artisan ray train, and then in the and then doing tutorials. So yep, that has been my Thursday. Well, thank you. So this is what we were working on. I was showing how you can take a little golden book and take it apart, build a new spine for it, and have it ready to go. I'm just letting this fully dry before we continue working on it. So we're doing some pockets right now. And so we're using some of these papers, and I think that's gonna look really cute right there. So let's get us so my problem is, you know, my craft room is also where I work out of and where I keep my inventory for selling and stuff of that nature. So yeah, it's and it has spilled out into the hallway, into the living room. Yeah, so it's like all over the place. And I've been looking at getting a laser because I want to make kits and templates and just little different things. I have a whole bunch of like tool type things in my head that would like assist people when they're, you know, doing bookbinding and such. And so I was looking at that, and my husband was like, well, then you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna fit it in that room. And I'm like, oh boy, that means that stuff has to actually get out of here for me to have room, because I would have to completely take out a set of shelves to be able to fit that machine in here. So here is our Mouse King. I think he looks kind of cute. Alright, let's see, do we want to do this one? Let's see, what else do we have that we could utilize? Maybe make a cluster with or something. Something or another. A Christmas wish. Those are too big. Yeah, it is. It is. It is hard. But I've got to figure it out, because that, and then I gotta have steady money coming in with shows, because I'm gonna have that on payment. So that was the other thing. He was like, well, you know you're gonna have. I was like, I know. But I think it would be, that's too big. I think it would be fun. And then these ones are also too long. They're like the other ones. And then those ones are too big. Maybe we could do something with that. Will the tags go inside the pocket? We can check that. I think they might be just a tad bit short. I mean, they fit. So yeah, I mean, we could totally put them in here. Let's get the edges rounded so nobody's taking an eye out, because you definitely don't want to ever have that issue. Uh-oh. Alright. Hopefully it doesn't, but I think my phone's about to die. Yup, it is. Alright, so let me see if I can... Alright, we're gonna raid into somebody because my phone is dying on me. Love y'all.
Thank you, Crafty Fox. Oh my God, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you,
Bye,
thank you for the
friends.